have no dope fiends, none of that in my family. Everybody, every one of my children has got at least 1 degree hanging out of their behind pocket. Most of them got 2 or 3. I got, like I said, I don't have no ex-convicts, none of that. This is my brother.
I'm not an ex-convict, I'm a convict.
No.
You can never be an ex because once you...
No, the only thing that applies to is Catholic and Marines.
Okay.
Because once you become a Catholic, unless they kick you out, you're a Catholic.
Okay.
If you're in the Marines for 20 days, 10 days, and they got to discharge you, the rest of your life, you're a Marine. Okay. It don't... Oh, another thing.
Okay, let's talk about the poop machine.
But anyway, my son was visiting his daughter, my granddaughter, in
San
Francisco. And so she works downtown, so he was telling her, he said, honey, he said, I just don't understand how you can live in a place like this. He said, look at this. And there's a guy taking dump right down the street, And she said, well, that's all right because they got technology that takes care of that. He said, what kind of technology? She said, they got a machine that when they know about this, they come around with this machine and they clean it up. There's a scooper in there and there's a spray nozzle that sprays it and cleans it all up and de-germs it and all of that, and nothing's touched by human hands. And she thought that was absolutely wonderful. I mean, the fact that they were there and it was there in the first place and they had to have a machine, that went over her head. And this is an educated girl. She's smart as she can be, So
that San Francisco has automatic poop machines.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of it going on there, they had a machine. They designed a machine to pick up. I guess they got the idea from Poopa Scoopa from animals. So,
I don't know, man.
So instead of grabbing it like a Poopa Scoopa, it's a machine, a robot that comes up and picks up the poop.
But now,
crazy, ain't it?
Let me tell you about the prison population. Today, like it was 550,000, over 550,000 patients in mental institutions, locked up in mental institutions in 1955, 1960. Today, somewhere between 25 to 40% of the population in prison are severely mentally ill people. They're prisoners now, they're not patients like that.
And then because they did something stupid and got arrested for it because they are mentally ill.
Yeah, well, back before when I was younger, if a policeman was going down the street and the guy was acting kind of wacky, they'd pick him up and they'd talk to him, and if they discerned that this guy got something else going on, they'd take him to the mental hospital. The mental hospital would take him in and keep him for 3-4 days, enough time to evaluate him and see, if he in fact
how he functions,
had a mental problem or not. And if he didn't, they put him on out. He might have been, drinking something that wasn't so good or something, And they'd kick him out. And if he was mentally ill, then they just admitted him and tried to stabilize him or get him, back to a point where they could release him and let him go back into the public, And that happened on a regular basis too. I mean, some people got temporarily crazy or something. I don't know. Can't say crazy, mentally ill. And so today,
keep going.
we're seeing, those people who were locked up in mental institutions as mental patients, the same number of them, the same percentage is locked, makes up the prison population. And you'd ask anybody that's been in jail, man, they got some wacky people in there, crazy, I'm mentally ill, but they got nowhere else to put them. So now they're taking up space and overcrowding the prison with people who really should be receiving health mental health care.
They give out a lot of drugs. They'll come around in the prisons sometimes 2 and 3 times a day and call people's names for their medication to keep them calm.
Yeah.
So they got them in prison, and they're doing the same thing that they would do for them in an institution.
When I was working in the slammer, we used to call that B-cools.
What is that?
B-cools.
Oh, B-cools?
Yeah, I said, man, did you get your B-cools today?
Okay.
But anyway, so here's something for you to chew on. In 1970, from 1970 up to yesterday, there were an average of 20 mass shootings in the United States of America. 20. All right. They did a study on those people. Would you believe that between 80 and 95% of every one of them were severely mentally ill people? These are the people that are doing the shooting. But it's the government's fault because the government closed up the mental institutions. Now these people are roaming around. And the thing about it is, 72 hours is the most time that you can keep these people in a mental health situation. 72 hours. And you gotta let them go back in the street. And like I said earlier, if you got a relative that's a whack, and you know him because you've been around him or her, and you know they're whack, you can't get those people admitted to a healthcare place, even though it's just 72 hours. They have to have a pre-knowledge of this person being mentally ill before a relative can take to a mental place and have him secured.
So what you're saying is, in a roundabout way, also, a lot of domestic violence is happening because people are mentally ill.
Right.
Not most, but some of the crime is happening because of mentally ill. The shootings, majority of it because of mentally ill. Domestic violence is because why would you get violent on your spouse or your blood relatives unless there's something wrong with you?
It might be something wrong with them.
Yeah, but they would run away. If you're saying you would run away.
But the point I'm making here is that all of these people I see on TV, that got me nervous, man, because if somebody goes into the Walmart or something and snatches or steals something, put it in their pocket, and the police at the door waiting for them, it's not their fault. Nothing's nobody's fault.
It's your fault.
But it's my fault because,
they should lock you up for it.
Right. Don't take the guy that did it, because...
So what you're trying to say in a roundabout way, if they lock you up for somebody else stealing something because somebody shot somebody, they got to take your gun away.
Oh, yeah, they got to punish me. I mean, no, don't say, well, that's our fault because, we're trying to get to be the president of the United States or some stuff like that. And it's because of the government, that you got all these shootings. We talking about gun control all the time.
Well, what? Trump is what, 75 years old?
Yeah, and he's the only person that came up with this mental health problem as the reason why we have these mass shootings.
Well, no. The reason for mass shootings is they started because Trump was born.
Oh, yeah.
It's all Trump's fault.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
That hurricane that just destroyed those islands in the Caribbean, that's Trump's fault.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It'll be Trump's fault when they start opening up some of these mental institutions that they closed up and put these people that need the help and us that need the protection from those people. It'll be Trump's fault if that ever happens.
Right.
Because
everything's his fault.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm pro that 100%.
Yeah. I mean, everything. They don't know what to say about the guy, so everything that goes bad is his fault. Yeah. And the reason why I'm wearing this hat today is, and I talked about this once before, but I want to talk it again. I was poisoned in Pahrump in a fast food restaurant here because I had my Trump hat on. Okay, hadn't had stomach problems in over 13 years, and let me tell you, after I ate in that fast food restaurant, I was ill for 4 days. And they were staring at me, and it was about the third time I went in there when they did this to me. And I wasn't a fan of Obama, but if anybody said that he should be killed, I turned around and told him, you can't talk about the President of the United States like that. Okay? But it seems that all these people who have influence over everybody talk about killing Donald Trump and blowing up the White House like it's okay. You cannot do that. I did not talk about that about Obama. I wasn't his fan, but that's the President of the United States. You hurt the President of the United States, you're hurting the whole country because he is supposed to be the top person.
He's the leader.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So you're attacking the country if you attack the president. Whether you like what he does or not, you have to have respect for the office. And Congress and senators and everybody up and down are talking about this man like he's Satan.
You know, that's kind of odd too, because if you talk to some of those people that just hate Trump with a passion, ask them why, they can never give you an answer. They can never give you a reasonable answer. That's try it. Now, speaking of the past president, you know, and gun control. Oh my God, you talk about just totally. That was it. Gun control. Mr. President, they just had two super liners have a mid-air collision, and each one of them was packed, and there was about 900 people that got killed in that crash. You see? That's why we need gun control.
Yeah, everything's gun control.
Everything. Mr. President, they had a big flash flood. The dam broke, and it went through the city, and it killed almost everybody there. Got drowned. Yeah, need gun control. Wouldn't happen if we had gun control. You know, everything that happened, and if you think I'm lying about this, go back and look through some of the things that he came up with about this gun control stuff. You know, you don't need gun control. What you need is mental health facilities like they used to have, where if somebody was, and don't talk about the budget, because the budget is always way over where it should be. And what is, you know, it costs a lot of money to have all of these shootings, all these people getting shot, mass shootings, people going to theaters.
Wasn't there 25 people killed in Chicago this weekend? They didn't talk about that.
Well, you know, what's the guy's name? He used to be Rahm Emanuel.
Rahm Emanuel, yeah, he was a Obama guy, and then he left Obama's because he wanted to be a mayor of Chicago.
Yeah, I used to live in Chicago. I used to 13 months. People were fleeing Chicago like rats on the sinking ship.
Well, it happened to Detroit. Detroit used to be the third, number 3 city in the United States, and Detroit's a toilet now.
It looks like one of those German countries or one of those German cities that
got bombed out.
Dresden, or something like that. I used to live there too. I lived there for 2 years. I was stationed there, and I'm telling you, I went back 4 or 5 years ago, and I wanted to go see my old neighborhood, my old street. I didn't believe it was the same street. I'm telling you, man.
Why? What happened? Worse or better? Worse?
I said my old street in Detroit. Man,
Detroit! I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about when you were.
You tell me what I'm talking about.
Well, it was actually Counting Cars. The guy Danny, who owns the body shop, Counting Cars. He actually was born in Detroit, and there was an auto show in Detroit, and he went back there, and he actually filmed the house that he lived in. And he actually started to cry to see the damage that community turned out to be like, and the house that he lived in was abandoned, was a shipwreck, and he said there was a lot of great family times in that house, and to see the house like that really bothered him.
Well, I can understand that because the house that I lived in, I brought up. I used to buy houses wherever I went, still do. And I had 6 children, and the house that I lived in was perfect for my family. I mean, it was and in that neighborhood, I guess people got together and.
So your
built
kids
houses.
went to school in that neighborhood, and they all became well educated, and didn't get in any kind of trouble. Okay, and they have children of their own, and they're well educated. They're not getting in any kind of trouble. So it doesn't have to be the neighborhood that you come from or your schools or anything. It's inside you if you're going to do a good job or not and be a good citizen.
No. I'm going to tell you about my kids and about what's going on here. I raised my kids. I didn't have any problem whatsoever picking my foot up off the floor and put it in their behind when they needed it.
You go to jail for that now.
Oh, government tells you how to raise your kid. And Oprah. I always say, when my kids were growing up, I wasn't Oprahized. Now here's a woman. Only thing I can see she did is do a good job on TV. I don't know what kind of education she's got, but I know she doesn't have any children. Well, I don't know that for sure, but I would bet 10-1 that she doesn't have any children.
Was she ever married?
I don't think so.
Huh.
Her husband, I knew him. Doesn't. But anyway.
Oh, she was married to him?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's a live-in
Okay.
boy.
Well, I know that she her attitude towards giving stuff to people and everything comes from her father. Because her father, she said a story one time that on Thanksgiving her father would just pull people off the street, bring them in the house, and have Thanksgiving with people they didn't even know.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm saying that's a good thing.
Yeah, you should love and care. You're responsible. You're responsible for your fellow man.
Yeah. Oh, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great.
But I saw somewhere around here, where there's a lot of people that try to fix people. And I saw something that you wrote around here about.
Which one? Oh.
About fixing people. And
Let's see. Some people don't want to be fixed because being broken gets them attention.
and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right. Gets them free food, gets them a place to live, gets them a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So broken people stay broken because it gets them attention and gets them other stuff. And it's the truth.
Yeah. So
It's the truth.
so anyway, getting back to this
Gun control?
gun control thing here. If you do a little research on your own and you see that what I've been saying to you rings with some degree of truth, then you will understand that gun control is not the bottom line on this situation. Go back to the 1930s. Check out what the Democratic Socialist Party, they got a bunch of Democratic Socialists, I saw them, I'll say 20 of them, 10 at a time last time. Socialists, check them out, what their main thing is, and check out what the 1930s Democratic Socialist Party of Germany did about gun control. They was heavy on gun control. And as a matter of fact, they took everybody's piece except who we want to have. And then, look what happened a little later. They started going around picking up, well, I'm going to take you to this nice vacation place.
Time to take a shower.
Yeah.
Gun control is population control.
Well,
They should say what that really means, because you can't control a population when they have their Second Amendment right to have a gun. But if they don't have that gun, Now it becomes population control, people control.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, an armed person will never be a slave if that person understands that what the Second Amendment says, and it don't say nothing about harm. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, if you read that and you think back over history, that militia thing has been going on ever long before this ever became a country. As a matter of fact, it became a country because of the militia, armed people who fought the British. And it was a little while before they had the Continental Army, but all those people were people that came from the neighborhoods and joined Mr. General Washington's army.
Well, that's what the movie The Patriot was all about.
Yeah.
With Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
That was about the militias that turned around and helped
Right.
do everything.
You know, and so this thing about everybody wants to interpret something. You know, just read the darn thing and do and just put that in your head. All that other BS that I don't know whether it's supposed to say that or not.
Yeah, it's fun.
That everybody wants to smear all over it. Well, you know, that doesn't mean that you can have an individual armed, or it didn't mean that you could have a machine gun. Well, they automatic. That's what they always talk about.
Assault rifle.
Assault rifle.
Why do you think they call it an assault rifle? Because it sounds mean. Because you're going to assault somebody with it.
Well, I mean, you know, when I was a kid, I had some assault bricks.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the reason why they put these certain names on these weapons, because it sounds not good that you're looking to assault somebody.
And the people that are running their mouth about it have got zero intelligence about what firearms really are. They don't know, they're just running their mouth, and it sounds good, you know? It just sounds good. What I tell you, wait till the boys with the rags tied around their head end up showing up around here, and the same people that were, oh, we got to get rid of these guns, and when these people come around there and snatch them up and take them out and start cutting their heads off and doing other mean things to them before they cut their head off, and I come over the hill with my rifle. I ain't talking about my assault rifle, because I don't have an assault rifle. And maybe help them out a little bit.
It's a freedom gun, isn't it?
Yes, I guess that.
It's a freedom gun. You own a gun, it's called a freedom gun. See, now here's one of the things that people should watch. People should watch Red Dawn. The movie was made in 1984, and it showed how we were infiltrated into the southern border and created a war in this country.
No, it was dropped the Soviets coming in on the aircraft.
Yeah, but they were also coming in, what do you call it? They were also coming in from the southern border, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cuba.
And they actually split, well, they tried to make it like Russia was coming in through the southern border.